Please stop saying it only takes one on an IVF journey. Sometimes you get zero. Story time. The absolute worst day on my IVF journey. If you know my story, I've never told this part in detail before. I'm Lauren. I've been on my IVF journey for 3 years now. We're finally moving forward with donor embryos. Things are looking good, but this was my low point. So follow if you want to see how this all unfolds. Let's back up to when I first started IVF. This was after a miscarriage and 2 failed IUIs and trying on our own for a bit. We were finally ready to start IVF. I went for my baseline appointment and I had a cyst. It ultimately took 3 months to get resolved. I had to have surgery to get it removed. We were already delayed by a lot. Then as the embryos were starting to grow, my doctor became concerned. He said the quality didn't look good and he wanted to cancel the fresh transfer so we could genetically test them. This was obviously heartbreaking in terms of the delay and also the financial cost. It was at least another $5,000 for the genetic testing, which we hadn't planned to do. We got 5 embryos to send off for testing, and I knew the numbers. At 38, the odds that I would get 1 genetically normal embryo were pretty good. We might even get 2, which was all we could have hoped for. We sent them off for genetic testing the week before my 39th birthday. I was celebrating that weekend. I was literally picturing our transfer, getting pregnant, moving forward. Everything was working out for us finally. The day before my 39th birthday, we set up a Zoom appointment with the doctor. He says, all of your embryos are genetically abnormal. That moment, my stomach dropped. My heart dropped. I have never felt that sense of hopelessness and despair. It was like a Thursday and our Zoom call was at like 9 a.m. and I was literally dressed and ready to go to work. It took a few minutes to process, cried, went into work late, but I went to work because I didn't know what else to do. Sitting at home and crying all day didn't seem like the right choice. I work at a media company. We do podcasts and YouTube shows. That day on the show, one of the topics that came up was women regretting not having children, what that looks like in life, having to listen to this conversation on a day where I was just questioning everything was crushing. The amount of times I had to go into the bathroom and cry. To top it all off, my 39th birthday was the next day. If you're on an IVF journey, you know the numbers. Once you get to your late 30s, every single year, odds drop off. That was one of the worst days of not just my IVF journey, but my entire life. But I had to keep going. We all have to. That's the thing about IVF is you can't just stop living. You have to move on with your life. So I'm opening up the comments, share the worst day on your IVF journey because we don't always get to talk about it. Most of us are suffering silently. So tell me about the worst day on your IVF journey.